We'll start off then with the Hardy Boyz versus Darkstate for the NXT Tag Team Championship. The one title the Hardy Boyz hadn't won, but of course have now beat Darkstate for it in a title versus title match at NXT Showdown, which was the TNA versus NXT show that they did on NXT a few weeks ago. I'll kick things off. I'm not going to waste any time. Darkstate is not working for me. I think it does a great benefit for WWE to have the Hardy Boyz holding those NXT Tag Team Championships. I think the Hardy Boyz will retain.
Yeah, I think Hardy's are due for a run with these titles in NXT, and not that NXT really needs a Hardy Boy rub, but I think that the name alone brings eyes to the product. So I'm going to say Hardy Boyz retain.
Sounds good to me. We're both gone for the Hardy Boyz. We've got Dr. Wagner Jr. going against Ethan Page for the NXT North American Championship only. It's the only title on the line here. In a Day of the Dead match is what this one is proclaimed of. Pretty much anything goes in this match here. To be honest here, I actually thought Dr. Wagner Jr. at one point was going to be the guy to take the title from Ethan Page. They seem to be really building this up, but I've got a funny feeling Ethan Page is going to sneak the win here. They'll do a rematch on a Worlds Collide show, which will go for the Latin American Championship for Dr. Wagner Jr., and I think then Wagner Jr. will get his win back.
Yeah, I think Ethan Page is retaining personally. Like I said, I think this would have been a bit more interesting if we'd have had title for title, but Ethan Page is just... Honestly, I think he's untouchable at the minute. I think his character work he's doing is fantastic. His in-ring work is fantastic. I don't think there's anything wrong with Ethan Page at the minute, and I don't see why you'd want to take that title off of him. I think it's too soon for a AAA star to be running around with an NXT championship at the minute.
Completely agree, unless it happens to be the former champion. El Vikingo, I think, is the only one I think would get away with it at this particular moment. Let's move on to the match that Eric Douglas is most excited about. Jacy Jayne versus Tatum Paxley for the NXT Women's Championship. Tatum Paxley winning a battle royal, even at the expense of Izzy Dane here to get the opportunity. It's Halloween Havoc. It's the perfect person to be challenging for that title here. Is Tatum Paxley going to get the win?
I don't think so. I think Jacy Jayne is in for another extended run with that championship. I think ultimately we're building to a Jordan Grace or someone who's going to take that title for Jacy Jayne. Who would have thought, dude, that Jacy Jayne would get this kind of a run with that championship? When we who was it that when we did Great American Bash predictions? Ed Fries. He was like, nope, Jacy Jayne's never won that. And here we are, like 3-4 months later, Jacy Jayne's still NXT Women's Champion. It makes me die still, but I can't see Tatum winning this, unfortunately. I think this is purely just a spooky bollocks match with a spooky bollocks character.
Yep, I completely agree with you. Ed Fries did say at the time the prospect of Jacy Jayne having a Roman-esque title reign of 1,000 days would make him drink. I think that certainly one more drink will be added to the collection. I think Jacy Jayne's retaining here. Tatum Paxley, I think it will add the dynamic which Lyra Valkyria has been back in NXT recently. I'm enjoying to see what that will do with Tatum, Lyra, and Izzy Dane. I think there'll be a bit of confliction amongst them, which will help Jacy Jayne, along with Fallon Henley and the new recruit of Lainey Reed being a part of the group. And we'll get a strong fatal influence here on the retain.
Probably just to add, I think it's probably going to end up in a 6-woman tag team match where you're going to get fatal influence versus Paxley, Valkyria, and Izzy Dane, and essentially there's going to be a fallout with Dane, Valkyria, Tatum, whatever, and they're going to lose. It's almost like a foreshadowing with that one.
Seems to be indeed. If Sol Ruka is fit and healthy, which we hope she is, we're going to go on the basis this match is going ahead. We know there's an announcement on NXT at the time of recording. We're not sure what's going to go down, but I think this is one of the title changes that's going to take place on this show. I think Blake Monroe is going to be the one to take the gold from Sol Ruka, and I always thought it would be Zaria.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all thought it was going to be Zaria, but Blake Monroe has come in and has just taken the division by storm and has had a great run in a story with Jordan Grace. But yeah, I think Blake Monroe is just such a character and a persona that she almost needs a title. Not even necessarily just to elevate her position on the roster, just to like emphasize the point of how good she is, I think.
Absolutely, indeed. To be honest, really, I think there's an argument Blake Monroe should be going for the top title in the women's division in NXT, but this is not a bad place for her to be right now. She's not long recently debuted, and I think that she's got a very bright future in NXT and WWE.
I think that Blake Monroe will almost, I can see it on generally having like a year's run with that North American title, add some proper prestige to it. Like, we've had a lot of short reigns with that North American Championship. I think we're about time for a stupidly long one, and I think Blake Monroe is the one to do that.
Certainly could be indeed. She could be doing for the women's mid-card title in NXT what Becky Lynch is doing on Monday Night Raw. Main event time. Ricky Saints, the brand new NXT champion, defending against a former NXT champion, a former TNA world champion. He just dropped the title, Trick Williams. Now, of course, these two were on the same NXT team for NXT Showdown against TNA. Trick Williams walked out on Ricky Saints, and Ricky Saints ate the pinfall on the night. Ricky Saints wanted to get some revenge on Trick Williams, offered him a NXT championship match. The contract is set to be signed tonight, so providing no hiccups, this match is set here for Halloween Havoc. How do you see it playing out?
I'm going to say Trick Williams. I'm going to say Ricky Saints wins then. If this was a TV special, I'd have gone with a screwy finish where Trick wins but Saints retains the title. But I think a Saints retains. This is like first or maybe second title defense as NXT champion. I very much doubt I can see him losing it. Hopefully they bust out the old spin the wheel, make a deal sort of thing tonight where we can just add some stipulations to the rest of these matches.
Certainly would be nice to add a bit of flavour to Halloween Havoc. That's what we're used to seeing. It's one of the reasons I like the show so much in the modern day. I'm going to go for Ricky Saints to retain as well here. I think that there'll be, I don't want to say a screwy finish, but I want to say not a clean finish. I think there's room for a series of matches between these two, especially if we're not going to have Obafemi in the mix for the meantime. Perhaps maybe they can redo this at NXT Deadline, of course, the final premium live event of the year, which features one of my favourite matches of all the calendar year, which is the Iron Survivor Challenge. But these two, I think this will be the first of many matches. But I'm going to say Ricky Saints wins on night one. I will say either something screws Trick Williams, or it's a cheeky roll up, or something along that line of how Ricky Saints retains here.
Yeah, like I'm sitting here trying to think, even like a case of a distraction from another party, like an Obafemi or something, but I can't think of anyone that particularly comes to mind. So, yeah, I'm going to say Saints wins this one. I don't know. I'm still thinking clean, but yeah, I'm still going with Saints winning either way.
But that's our predictions there for NXT's Halloween Havoc this weekend. Please let us know your predictions in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. We'll see you for the next one.